So today we'll be discussing about like how do we exactly upload a project in Git, and how do we install the Git, how do we upload our project to the GitHub, and then from there how do we clone it and what are the things that we do as part of like Git and GitHub. Okay, so this is nothing but version controlling tool. Okay, so let me give some overview on this Git and GitHub. So what are those things actually? So let me pull out document for that. Coming up. So here you can see. So Git is a version controlling tool. Okay, so Git is a version controlling tool. So what it does is like actually that manages different versions of files. So for example, we are working on a project. Uh, Let us say that you are working on a class A, I'm working on class B. Okay, so what we do generally is like we are going to make some modifications to that, right? So after that, what we do, we are going to maintain it as like it's a copy for that. So here in case of like Git, what it does is like it's going to maintain the versions of it. For example, let us take, I've started working on a project called some project A. Okay, so here I started working on a project A. So this project A may contain a lot of files, right? So here we are going to have like file 1, then we have like file 2, then we have like file 3. Okay, so this is well and good if one person is managing that. Okay, only one user is managing that, then that is like well and good, is have like a master copy. But what if we have like a team? Okay, so we are working as like a team. So here teams are team. So here you can see likewise we have hundreds of like not hundreds of users. Let us take like we have 10 users. So now this person, okay, so who are working on this? For example, this A person is like user 1 is working on file A. Okay, he made some changes here. Okay, so if it is like a small project, that is fine. So just we can go ahead and we can try to uh, try to make the changes to this file and we can just maintain it. Okay, if we are like 3 people working on this particular project and it is like less number of files and it is like easy to maintain. But what if we have like like 15 people or 10 people are working and continuously they're working on designing this project and adding those files to this project? In that case, what happens is like now you see this user 1 is working and user 2 is also working on this filing, and simultaneously this user 2 is working on file 3 and this user 3 is working on file 2. Okay, so now let us take like now user 1 made some changes. Okay, so user 1 made some changes here, so he made changes. So let us take like change 1, and the other one made some changes too. This is called change 2. Let us take like 0.1, 0.2. Okay, 0.1, 0.2. Okay, so likewise, so this would be like 0.3. We have like changes he has made. Okay, on file 1. Now it is like user 2 is also working on file 1. Okay, and he made changes like 0.4 and made 0.5 changes. Okay, now you see that likewise if we have multiple people. Okay, so let us consider this is like a multiple team, and like now let us take this is file 2. Okay, so here I'll be adding it as like a file 2. So user who and is working on file 2. Okay, now it is similar case in this. So user 3 and working on file 2. Okay, now you see that what is happening here. This user is working on file 1 and this user is working on file 1. Simultaneously, this user is working on file 2 and this user is like user 3 is working on file 3. So now we have like a lot of changes we are making, right? See now how do we maintain these changes? Okay, to maintain these changes, we have to go with we have this option to go with the Git. Okay, so that is the reason why we call it as like a version controlling tool. Okay, so source version controlling tool. Okay, so CSV or CSV we can call anytime. Okay, version controlling tool, VCT. Okay, so these are the different terms that we use. Okay, but this Git is like it will locally manage. Okay, so this Git is like it's a software. It will locally manage those details. Okay, so what we have is like we have in local. So in this we have like what we call it as like a working directory, working repository. Let us say that working repo, and yeah, working area. Let us take working area, and so here let me just local area, working area, and we have a staging area. Okay, so these are the things. What this local area is like kind of like whatever wherever we are working. For example, if we are working on this, so this is nothing but local area. We did not move these things to the staging area. Okay, staging area is the working area. So for example, now we see what we are doing. What we are doing is like we are just making it changes to this, like whatever the file that we have. So we are making just changes to this files. Okay, so let me just pull it out. Now I'll open one file here. So for example, now you see, now it's kind of like it's locally the changes are there. For example, if I'm adding here, I'm going to add one more annotations, which is called methods. So methods would be like, what is that method that we have here is like set driver. Okay. So now you see when I save it, it's like, saved locally, but it is not available in like, what it is doing is like, it is not available anywhere else. Okay. Anywhere else is nothing, but we did not move this code to the GitHub. Okay. So, but what we have here is like, we have like different areas here. Okay. So Git will have a different areas. Let's see that what is the rest of the things in this PowerPoint. Okay. In this presentation. So now you can see why is it useful? Keep tracks of changes to the files, review and revert back to the older versions. If you are not like, if you make some changes and if it is like it's not working, then what we do is like we are going to go back to the older versions. Synchronization files between different locations. For example, now you are working from India, somebody else is working from US, somebody else would be working from UK, different time zones. So in that case, we want to have this file sync. In that case, what we do is like we are going to use this GIF. So test changes without losing the original copy. So we can just have the original copy saved somewhere. That's nothing but we are going to put it in a remote or locally we are going to manage it. And then what we do is like we test it and we try to see that if some changes are there, like it's going good, then we are going to push it. Okay, that's nothing but we'll replace the copies. But what is happening in this case is like this is like this is a kind of a software that locally should be available. Okay, we'll see that how do we install that Git and so after that we have a GitHub. Okay, so GitHub is kind of like a central repository. Okay, so we have local, whatever we are saving at our local system, that's nothing but local, that is Git. In case of like if you want to save it in the centralized repository, somewhere it is located. Okay, everybody can access it. That's nothing but GitHub. Okay, so why do we need to use the GitHub is like free hosting to open source projects. So for example, if you want to manage your project, so it can host it freely. Our interface for browser and editing code, it is like easy to edit the code there also, and workflows and APIs that whatever we are doing fancy code. So for example, if you want to maintain your code properly and with the different version, then we are going to use this Git and GitHub. Okay. So how do we install this and where do we install this is like we are going to see now. Okay. So before that, Git is kind of like it's a software which is available locally, and GitHub is like a centralized repository. All the repositories, all your repositories will be managed in the GitHub. Okay. So I'll show you like how do we create the create account for the Git and like how do we install this Git, and after that how do we create the account for the GitHub. Okay. So I'll close this. And another thing is like different areas that we are going to see that different. So we'll discuss about like what is like what is working directory and staging directory and dot like we have a local directory repositories. Okay. So where what happens when we fix the changes and we just check in RX after committing what happens to that we are going to discuss. Okay. Now we need to install Git locally. Okay. So for this we have like Git Windows installation, Windows installation. Now you can see that Git SCM. Okay. So this is the official site and you can just click on this Git downloads. You can see there are like options Mac OS, Windows and Linux. Okay. So we have like latest source code which is showing up here is like Windows for download for Windows. Okay. Once you click on this, it will start downloading that particular .exe file. Okay. So yeah. Here also we have like options which are given here. So you can click on this. It will take you to this download. Okay. So here we need to click. So I can see click on this download. See, it is getting downloaded. Okay, simply click on this. We'll ask for the details and permissions. Yes. Next. Next. Click on next. Next. So all next that we have to give. Okay. So all default things that we can give. So it's installing now. So after installation, I'll show you like how do we exactly access this. Okay, you can finish it. And now we can go here, start. We can type Git. I can see it is available. Okay, Git give and Git cmd command. Okay, so when you say Git give, you can see that Git is like it's going to show up like what is that repository that we have, we need to create and all. So this generally we don't use it. So what we use is like we are going to use the command one. Okay, so now this Git is installed here. Now the thing is like we need to create the account for the GitHub. So how do we create the account for the GitHub is like GitHub. I already have this account. So what it is like you need to just go back, sign up. You need to give the details here. Okay. So for joining and also you need to give the details here once again. It is showing all these things. Okay. So you can enter your username and click on continue and you have to give the passwords and all. So after that, it's going to create the account. Okay. So I have already have this account here. So I'm going to just log in with my account. Okay. So you can see this is my account. Okay. So I can see that your profile it is showing like what are the different repositories I have here and all these things will be shown here. Okay. I'll go to my repositories. Okay. The repositories is like whatever I have like, uploaded to the GitHub. So you can access this. Okay. Yesterday I showed you, right? So you can just go and if I give this location. Okay. So if I give this location, what you need to do is like directly you can copy and paste this location, log into your GitHub and you can access these all files. Okay. So how do we clone it that we are going to discuss today. Okay. So now we have installed Git locally and we have the GitHub. Okay, account is also created. Now, how do we create the repositories and how do we upload this? Okay, so there are like two things that we can do. One is like directly you can do it from the Eclipse. Okay, so you can do it from the Eclipse. So what I will do is like I'll just go here. I'm going to disconnect this. I'll go here. So don't worry, I'll show you like from initial thing what I'm doing is like I'll just show you. Okay, I'm just trying to remove that .git file. Okay. So I'm just trying to remove already, which I've already created this. So I'm going to remove it. Okay. I'll remove it. Then after I'm going to re-add it. Okay. So for this, I can use rm.rf. So these are the few commands. Okay. So let's use this rm.rf. It. Okay. So I need to exit from this. Okay, it is now removed from this location. Okay, now I can see it is not there. Get it. Okay, how do we add this? Like, you have a project here. Okay, so we have a project here. Let me just exit from here and I'll show you. I'll exit. Okay, so this is like command prompt that we have. Okay, so we have two things. One is like we can use, another one is like command. So commands will be helpful for us, so that we'll be using the commands. Now, what do we need to do is like, so here I'll explain. So observe carefully now. Okay, we have like locally we have a project. Okay, this is local project, and this project has like we have a source and we have all set of folders. Everything is created. Okay, so we have created the project. Okay, so we have a project here. So dot project are different files that we have. Okay, so now we have like testng not XML. Now this is like we have this locally. Now I need to upload this file. Okay, so where do I need to upload this file? This file should be uploaded to the Git. Okay, so GitHub, sorry. So Git and GitHub, we'll talk about like just using the Git here. So now you can see that we have this GitHub here. So now I need to upload this files to the GitHub. So what I need to do now? So to upload this file, we should have some address, right? So address or reference, something that it should be here. Okay, so it's kind of like we should be creating a new repository. Okay, so we are going to create a new repository. In this new repository, what we do is like now we got the new repository. So with the help of like commands that we are going to use. Okay, so which commands that we are going to use now? Here we are going to open the git bash. Okay, this is for first approach I'm showing the git bash, and then we need to add .git folder. Okay, so that now what it does is like when the .git folder is given here, so it will now understand, okay, this part of folder should be uploaded to this particular repository. Okay, so whenever you are trying to do something, that will be like, it will be concentrating on this dot git wherever the dot git is here. Okay, for example, here we have a dot git. Okay, for example, we have a dot git. So it will monitor everything. Whatever we are trying to do actions on this particular folder set, it will be monitoring. It's kind of like it will be tracking the changes. Okay, so now we got the git bash. In this git bash, we are going to use the commands. Okay, so what are the commands that we are going to use and how do we upload is like, we'll check it. First thing is like, we have to go and create the repository in this GitHub. Okay, so once we create the repository, it will give list of commands here. Those commands we can use it here for uploading our project. Okay, so what are the commands and how do we do it, that we are going to see now. Okay, now I'm going to the repositories. Here I'm going to create a new repository. Okay, so new repository. Before that, what I want to do is like, I'll just go here. So already we have a copy of this project, right? So what I'm going to do is like, I'll take the copy of this project and I'm going to put it here. Okay, so just nothing but I'm just trying to upload this project. Now I'll say that git sample project 1. Okay, so this is the project name and whatever we have is like, all the things are here. Okay, so let me open the Eclipse and so during connecting this git to this Eclipse, so already we have that project in our Eclipse, right, that we need to remove. Okay, freshly when we are doing it, so it will not be available, but it is already, I have already uploaded that project. So I will be removing that project. Okay, so freshly, how do we do is like, first we go and log into the GitHub and create the repository. After creating the repository, we are going to use some commands. Those commands will be used as part of our local, local git. That local git, we'll just open it and we'll add those commands, and with the help of those commands, the project will be uploaded to the GitHub. Okay, so let me remove this. Okay, careful, like we should not delete content on the disk, otherwise it will be completely gone. Okay, now we don't have any project here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is like, now I'm going to the GitHub repository. First thing is like, I'm going to create the repository. So here I'm going to give it as like test. GitHub. Otherwise, you can say that hybrid form framework. Okay, so this is my repository name. Okay, so I'm just going here. I'm putting it public. If I put private, it will not be visible to you guys. Okay, I'm going to put it public. Now I'll create a repository. Now I get the empty repository. Okay, empty repository. And what are the commands that we have to use? These are the commands. Okay, so these are the commands that we have to use. See, I'll create a new repository in the command line. How do we create the new repository in the command line? Is like, we have to use this. Okay, so now you can see these are the commands which are given to us. Okay, so now I'm going to copy these commands. Okay, I'll put it locally with me. So where these commands are available, these are available in the Git. Okay, so now how do I upload this file? Now I have this repository created in GitHub, but it is empty. Okay, do you see that anything is given here? Nothing is there, right? So go back to your local repository. Go to the project. Okay, go to the project where the project is located. For example, this is the project is located. Okay, so this is the project that you want to upload. Right click on this, show more options. Otherwise, you can see the git bash. Okay, so git bash. So this git bash will be available only if you download the git locally. Okay, now you see that we have this window is open, like command prompt is open. Now, how do I add this now? So I need to type the command git in it. Okay, first command. Okay, now you see that after creating this, like, after just, typing this git dot init, it's going to create empty git. See now. Okay, so that's nothing but it's like, it is showing up like all this kind of like, only empty project is uploaded. Okay, now it will show you initialized empty git repository. Okay, in this location, it is like empty. Now, what are the commands that we have to use here? Is like, second command, we need to add this project. Okay, so git add readme is like we are not going to use readme, but we are going to use a command called -all. Okay, because we want to upload all the folders, files, everything which are available as part of like Git that I want to upload it. Okay, so how do I upload it? Git add -all. So once you type this command, it's going to add all these files. Okay, so it does not have any commands checked in. Okay, so it is already available, I guess. Added files failed. Oh, we have this Git which is already available. Let me just remove this one. This is not required for us. Okay, so this does not require anything. This is like, I think it is something by mistake has been created. Now we'll try to type this one. Okay, now you see all the files which are located here are added. Okay, so you can see I'll just expand it. Okay, see now Git all, it's going to add all the comments, whatever comments or whatever files that we have, is like it's going to upload all these files with the help of this command. Okay, so after this we are going to just check like what is the status of this. Okay, so for this I'm going to just type this command as like git status. It will show what are the files it has added. Now do you see this, all these files? See driver dot, all the files that we have as part of our project are uploaded, so it is going to show up here. Okay, so now you can see all these are like shown in green. So these are like, added, but they are not still moved to the GitHub. Okay, so to move these files to the GitHub, what we have to use is like we have to use a command called git commit -m, and we have to give the comments. Okay, so such something, but we have to give the comments. So added all files to GitHub. Type it now. So it will show you like these all files are now, see, created mode. It is showing like it is moved to the from where it is moving now. It is only moving from, sorry, it is only moving from working area to the staging area. Okay, staging area is like, now we have two types of things. Okay guys, one is like working area, another one is like staging area. So whenever you are going to commit, then what happens is like, so we have two things. Okay, so let us, like we already talked about like local area, right? Local area is nothing but working area. For example, now we see these are like two areas. Okay, so one is like, this is working directory, you can call area or working directory or working area. So here is like staging directory or area. So now we are making some changes. Okay, all the changes will be here. Okay, all the changes will be here. Changes will be here. Okay, so if I say that we have added something, all the changes will be here. But when these changes will be moved from working area to staging area is like when we are committing it. Okay, so when we commit it, so how do we commit it? See, I'm just using this command, right? So git commit -m. So now ready to GitHub. Okay, so this is nothing but this is a kind of a commit that we are going to provide. So what happens is like, now all the changes, whatever we are moving, whatever making is like that we are moving to the staging area. Okay, staging area, now it's like, this is nothing but a GitHub. Okay, so GitHub. So when these files will be moved from staging area to the GitHub is like remote. When are we going to move this file is like, we are going to use a command called git push. Okay, so git commit is like, commit will bring the changes from working directory to staging directory, and this push will move that file from staging area to the remote. Okay, so now we have like added these files, we have committed these things. Okay, so we have committed these files. Okay, so for this, if you want to see what is that command that we use is like git status. Now it will show you like we have a commit on this thing. So nothing to commit, working directory clean. Okay, let me just use git log. There is another command that it will show you like what are the things that you have to see. So this is nothing but commit. This is a commit ID which has been created. Okay, it is pointing to the master. So you don't worry about like in master is like repository which has been created in the GitHub. Okay, so now you see who is the author, Srikanth Chincholi, and this it will show you like, and the date also it is going when you have moved these changes to the staging area. Okay, get all these are this is the message that I've created. Okay, now now what is that we need to do is like we need to add this command. See git remote add origin. Okay, so this is what we have to add. Okay, copy this and you can paste it here. Okay, so we have to paste, right click on this, paste it here. So remove this one. This is not required. Now click on enter. Okay, now you see that it has added origin repository. Let me go to this, refresh this. Still, we don't have anything here. Okay, so when do we get this? We have just added a repository. Origin is nothing but it's a kind of a master repository that I've created. Okay, we have multiple repositories guys. Okay, so we have like master we can create, and these are nothing but kind of like within that repository we have like a branches. Okay, master branch, and we have like our local branch that we can create. Okay, so I'll show you like how do we create those branches here. Now the last thing is like we need to push it. Okay, where do we need to push it now? So it's like we need to push it to the master. Okay, so git push. Now we are just what happened here is like we made some changes and we initiated these changes to be added to the GitHub. So how do we initialize that? We have to use the git init command. Okay, so this is like first type that I'm showing, and second type also I'm going to show you like how do we do it in the Eclipse. Okay, from the Eclipse also we can see that one. So here git I'm using git in, so it will initialize that this is a git repository. You have to track these things. Okay, after that what we do, we have to add these files, or all these files should be added. Okay, that's nothing but we are adding all these files to the staging area. Okay, after adding these files to the staging area, we need to commit. Once we commit it, what happens is like these files will be moved from working directory to the staging directory. Okay, so from here what do we need to do is like we need to move it to the remote. To move it to the remote, but we have to create a branch. Okay, we have to create a branch. Branch is a concept of like repository. In that repository is like a wider one. Okay, so let us take like this is a piece of a thing. Okay, so this is repository. Inside that we have branches. Okay, so likewise this is master branch, this is nothing but test branch, this is like the develop branch. So likewise we are going to create it. So whenever like this will be a master copy. Okay, master copy. So if you are making any changes, you cannot make directly to this master branch. Okay, so what we do is like we are going to create a copy of this master branch and we are going to rename it, and we have whatever changes that we are making will be pushed to this branch, and we are completely aware of it, like this branch is like working fine and all the code is working fine. Then we are going to move this code to the master branch. Okay, that is the reason why what we do is like here we are going to create a master branch. In that master branch all the original copy will be there. Okay, all the original copy will be there. Now I'm going to push the code to the master branch. Okay, so by default its name will be origin. Okay, origin. So origin, we are going to give it as like origin master. Now we see that it's going to upload all the files. Permission needed, denied. Okay. So it is like it is not allowing me to do this one. So for this, I need to add one more thing, guys, to get the permissions here. Not add. Exit. Okay. So there is another thing, guys. One more thing we need to add is like we have to get config with that. Okay. So git remote, we already added that. So git config global. So user dot name. So this is like we are going to give what is that actually the configurations. Okay. So git config, and we'll make it as like whenever we don't have permissions, we need to add this. Okay. So let me configure this, and after that we can push it. Okay. So git config global. So we are telling the git that this is my global username. Okay, so if somebody else is using that, it will show you like this is the error. Okay, so what is that? Srikanth. Okay, it does not contain a section user. Okay, there is a user dot actually. Okay. Okay, if you want to check it, you can check it now. How do we check it? Is like username. When you say that username, it will show who is that user that we are using. And after that, we have a user email. So email I'm going to give Srikanth Chincholi at Yahoo. Okay. Email. Yeah. Now we have this. Okay. Let me push it now. Okay. Still we have a problem here. So it says like the permissions to Srikanth is denied to this particular thing. Okay. So for this, we have one approach, guys. So what we need to do is like, we need to go to this GitHub, and here you can see that there is a setting. Okay. Go to the setting and you can see that we have a SSH and GPG keys. Okay. So let me just go to this SSH and GPG keys. So we need to add a key here. Okay. Already have this key. So what I'm going to do is like, I'll add a new key here. Okay. So how do I generate this key is like, I'll show you how do we generate this key. So, but okay, we have already have this keys. So we can use this key, and it's nothing but, guys, what it is asking me is like, we have to have the permissions to the GitHub. Okay. So if you don't have permissions, then what we need to do is like, we need to use this SSH key. Okay. So for generating this SSH key, there is another process, but now we'll try to upload this file with the help of like, already I have this key, which is already created. Okay. So let me do one thing. I'm going to use this key here. So GitHub origin, and I'm going to give the username. So this is a username, and the Git, that is what I have here. Not already exist. Remote origin. Now it says like already exists. So what I'm trying to do is like, I'll just name it as like a main. Okay. I'm going to just put it as like a main. Okay. Now you see it is added. So I'll push this code to the main. Fail to push some references to the GitHub because we have okay. So let me do it from the initial things. Okay. So we have already added this, right? Adding all this. Now we have added this file, and then we are adding, see, master we have already created. So it's like we are going to create a main. Okay. So main and Git. So here we are going to create one other branch. Okay. So main, add main, and here this we need to type this command. Okay. Remote is all main is also exists. So I'll just name it as like a test here. So I'm going to create a test branch, and I'm going to push to the test. Okay. So let me clean it up, and I'll just try to do it from the initial. Git add all. It has added. Git remote add. I'm going to give automation test. Okay. So what are the commands that we have is like, we are just changing it. Okay. So okay, git add, we have added this. Next we need to commit it. Git. Okay, let me just remove it. The process will follow now. Git commit. So this commit, what it does, it's going to move from working area to the staging area. Git from, okay, git in, and adding files. Need to add working trace clean. Okay. So we are going to create a grid branch here. Branch automation test. It has created the grid branch now. Now I'm going to add git remote add. So we have to give the branch name here. Okay. We have to give the branch name. Add branch. What is that? It is like origin it is creating here, but we are going to create a branch as like automation test. APS. Otherwise, directly we can give git at the rate github.com, and I'm going to give my username. Okay, so you have to give your email ID here. Okay, so what is that hybrid? So where do you want to upload is like you need to upload this file into this location. Okay, it has added now. So what we do, we are going to push it. Origin. What is that? We have automation test. Still, it is asking me for this permissions because it is saying that it is permissions denied. Unable to add this file. Let me just. So we have this process, guys. This is what the process that we have to follow, but it is showing something error here because. Yeah. So here you can see this is the process that we have to follow to get this. So we have to have permissions. Okay. So let me check why this is not allowing me to do this. Permissions denied. So one solution which we have is like we need to just go to this Windows key, click on this credentials and go to this Windows credentials, and you can remove the generic credentials and remove the so it is like storing something. I'll just tell you guys why this is like it is asking for the permissions. Okay, so let me minimize now. Go and try to push this code. So now it is like asking me for signing in. Okay, authentication succeeded. Now it is like it is uploading everything. Okay, so what happened here in this case is like, so I have already have this keys which it is asking. Okay, so that it can authenticate and it can push your code to this location. Now you see that when I refresh this, so the branch will be shown here. Okay, so what are the different branches it has created and what is that code that we have. Okay, so once it completes, we can see that information here. Okay, still it is like pushing the code. Okay, so this step is like, don't worry about this. If something happens, what you need to do is like, if any permissions it is asking. Okay, if any permissions it is asking, what you need to do is like, click on this Windows key, go to the credentials manager and just open this, go to the Windows, and here you can see that GitHub. Okay, so now you see that it is like authenticating. So if it is already there, remove this one. Okay. So go to this location, generic credentials, Windows credentials, generic credentials. Under this, you can see any GitHub is there. Delete that one. Okay. Once you delete it, that it's going to ask you for the authentication again. So once you again log into this application, now you can see the authentication successful. Okay. So once you click on that GitHub authentication, then it will take you authentication is succeeded. Now it is like authenticating. Okay. So GitHub is like it is matching with. See, this is GitHub and this is like a Git. Now both are there. Both of them are authenticated. So that is the reason why it is showing up all this. Now you see that it is created. Now all the information is pushed to the automation test. Okay. So this is a branch that has been created. Let's go here. Now you see automation test. We have like all branches. If we have another branches, it will show the branches, but we don't have any branches here. So automation test is like my main branch. Okay. Now you see that all the information is like available here. Okay. All the information is available. So all this like whatever we have here is like moved to this location. Okay. So let's do one thing, guys. I'll try to do it again so that it will be easy for you to understand. Okay. Whatever steps that we have done. So let me go back to this. I'll just refresh. Now you can see refresh is given here. Okay, not here, but we have added this one, right? Project this. See, Git it is showing here. Okay. So Git it is showing here. Let me just go here and see what is the project that I have added to it. Go to the GitHub. I can see all these folders are added. Okay. From where it is pointing, it will show like this is like repository we have. So I added all the points. Now you can see from where this is like location, it's going to have this. Now, what I want to do is like, I want to map that. Okay. I want to map this. So it is already there. I want to map this. So how do I do it is like open the Eclipse, go to file, and you can see there is a option called import. Okay. Import and project from Git, or else we can have like two things. Okay. Which is already locally residing, existing local project, and then we have like URI. So we'll go with the existing local project. Okay. Local repository. Go here and try to add it now. So it will show which project is like uploaded. Okay. So this is a project which we have, right? So I'm just clicking on this. Now click on next, next, finish. Now this project is like, it is available to us. So it's going to, now this project is pointing to automation test. Okay. Automation test is nothing but here we have automation test. Okay. This is a branch. Okay. Automation test is like a branch. Now you see that we have this project. Okay. So how do we see this? Whatever we are like, if we are making any changes, now you see that we have these changes which are available. Okay. Which is like, this is GitHub. The changes which we have made is like moved to the GitHub. Okay. So whatever project we have, it is moved to the GitHub now. So whatever changes you make, okay, whatever changes you make in this particular repository, how do we push it now? Okay. How do you push it is like, now you see, I'm just opening this. I'm just changing some things here. Okay. So here we have added this @ method, right? I don't want to add all these things. So just I want to have only one thing. Okay. Now you go here and open this source. Sure. Now you see. So we have these changes. Okay. This is nothing but Git. Okay. This is nothing but GitHub. So now we'll talk about like these things. Okay. So whatever, now we have created our repository and we have pushed our code from local to the remote. Now you see what I'm going to do is like, I have a working directory. Okay. Where is the working directory? Where is the working directory? So this working directory is like here we have. Okay. How do we see the working directory where the Git is located? So just we need to click on the search and you can type Git repository. Okay. So here we have typed Git repository. Click on this. You'll see the working directory created. Okay. So just expand this. I can see there are branches here, local and remote. Local is like, see, automation test. This is local. And this is like origin is like, which is being here, which is like, which is available in the GitHub. Okay, so working directory will have all the information. So the working tree is nothing but whatever we have inside this will be available here. Okay, so this is our local. Okay, now you see if I'm making some changes here, I'm saving it. Okay, so if you made any changes and you did not commit it, it will show you in this right. You can see that greater than symbol. Okay, now I want to commit it. Okay, commit is like now I am moving from working directory to staging directory. Okay, so this staging directory is nothing but now it is ready to push that code to the remote. Okay, so first we'll do it one by one. Okay, now I've saved and it is available in the local directory. If I need to move it to the staging directory, I need to commit it. Okay, so I'm just selecting option like right click on this file, go to teams, and you can click on the commit. It will show you the list of files which have been changed. See, now this is a file that I've made changes, right? So it is showing up here. So I'm going to add it some remote. I'll say that remote comments. Okay, now I'll just commit it. When I say commit, okay, when I say commit, this is moved to the staging area. Okay, this is moved to the staging area. So still that is not pushed to the master. Okay, so push to the like master in the sense automation test. Okay, so I'm talking about like this one. Now we see that when you refresh it, we did not get those changes available yet because we just committed in the sense the stage is like only ready for the push. Actually it's not it saved these changes to the remote. Okay, so now we have saved it and we have committed. After committing, the changes are moved to the staging area. From staging area to we need to move those changes to the remote. Okay, to move those changes to the remote, what we have to do is like now we have to push it. So how do I push it now? If I say right click, go and commit, you don't see any changes here. It will say that the point is like, it is pointing to the head. Okay, so to do this, what we have to do is like we need to go to the project, click on this team, and you can see that push to origin. Okay, so we have two options here, push to origin or push this branch, or else we have another option here, push remote push, and you can select the branch. Now when I click on next, and it will show you like what are the changes here. So when you just, okay, let me just add this one. So it is asking me to have this username and password. I'll just add it. Yes, all right. So these are nothing but you have to give the GitHub credentials. Okay, GitHub credentials. Just sorry. So it will ask you for a couple of times. So it's asking for multiple times. It will ask for 2 times, but to authenticate, it is asking for multiple times. URL GitHub, what is not authorized. So let me just go back. It is like it is. See, now you can see that one change is available here. It is asking me to push that. So it should. Configured, this is nothing but which is available. And I'm just trying to click on. Okay. So main it is pointing. So that is the reason why it is not showing up. Let me go here to the automation test. So I can select automation test branch and just pick. Now you can see removed comments. Okay, so this is the comment that we have. Now I'm going to confirm this. Okay, push confirm. Okay, pushes confirm, like I have pushed that changes. Now when you refresh this, the changes is reflected to the GitHub. See. Okay, so I'll talk about these comments, guys. These comments are like very user. We need to use it every time. Okay, so one is like commit. These things will move from working to staging area. Okay, so push is like it's going to move from staging to remote repo. Okay, so initially we have used this thing. So this is like, I just showed you in case of like only if we are using with the commands. Okay, so git init will initialize the .git so that it will be tracking the changes whichever we have added. Okay, for example, if we are adding the changes, okay, adding the git.git here, so it will track all the changes here. Okay, second is like we need to add all the files. Okay, all the files to the working area. Okay, so working area is like working directory. Okay, so after that, when I commit it, all the changes will be moved to the staging area. So after this, we are going to create a branch. So that branch, where are we creating this branch? We are creating a branch in the remote repo. Okay, so remote repo is like locally we have this branch created. In this case, it is like locally we have creating this branch. After creating this branch, we have to create the same branch in the remote. Okay, so that we can track the information. Okay, whatever we are making changes here locally. Okay, so here you can see this is a branch, automation test branch. Okay, so when you just go ahead and refresh this, there's nothing to push anything here. Let me just go and yahoo.com. It's my username. Okay, username password. This is asking for multiple times. Going and push to add origin has encountered a problem. Okay, let me just do it in another way. Changes are pushed here. Let me just refresh it. So it should not show this one. Okay, so it is like one push is like it is showing like one push, which is like we have to do it to the origin. Okay, let me do it from this command prompt. It's like not to worry about why I'm doing this. Okay, everything is up to date and specific status. Modified one change that is not available. Okay, don't worry, like I'm just checking it. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is like, see, there is like one comment I have done, so it is showing like remote comment. Okay, so okay, now it's gone. I've updated this. Now see what it is doing is like it is just showing up this, like, we should not have any kind of like, one up and down. So one up is like we have some changes and we need to push some changes. Down is like it's going to like fetching the changes from there. Okay, we need to pull the changes. Okay, so we'll talk about this pull and push. Now we'll go back to this diagram and we'll try to understand. So what we have done is like first we have initialized the gate. After that, we have added all the files. After that, we have just committed those files. And after that, we have created branch locally. And after that, we have created remote branch. Then after we have done whatever changes that we have moved to the staging area have been moved to the remote using the push command. Okay. So we'll try to do it again, guys. I'll show it. So what we have to do from here. Okay. So already we have like, sample project, which is available here. Let me try to push this Ashok IT Maven. Okay. So this is a project that we have and we'll try to move this one. This one also we can move. Okay. So now we have done it from the Git. Okay. I mean like Git bash commands. How do we do it if we have this particular project which is available in the Eclipse? So right click on this. You can see there is an option called team. Okay. Share project and you can give the repository. So whichever repository that you want to create, you can create. So here click on this create. Under this Git, if you want to create the repo, you can give. Otherwise, I'm going to give it as like test Git project. Okay. So now you see this is like I'm doing it from the UI. Okay. And here branch name is this master, and we are trying to, you can give the branch name here. Okay. So where is the branch that we have created? Here in this case, we have created the branch here, right? So you can see we have created the branch. So first thing is like init automatically it will do in case we are doing it from the Eclipse, and it will automatically add it and it will commit it. And after this, it's going to create now. It's asking me to create the branch. Okay. So now I'm doing it from the Eclipse. How do I do it? Let me do it again. Okay. Right click on the existing project, go to the teams, share project. Now it will ask you like repository. So if the repository is already there, you can give this one. Okay. Otherwise, you can create the repository. So I'm going to create the repository saying that test automation. Okay. So this is the repository which will be created in the locally. It will be like created as like working repository, working directory, and the other one is like it will be created as like a master. Like we have a repository automation test, and under that we are going to have the master branch. Okay. Click on finish. Have you see that? We finish this. Now do you see this? So it has created test automation and the master. Okay. Working, you can see. Automatically it's going to show you the location. .git test automation. Go to this .git Git repository, and you can see there is a test automation for it. And you can see under that all this information will be here. Okay. So now you go here, you can see all the options are available here. Now we go to this, just refresh this and go back to the now you see that what we have is like we have repositories created over there. Okay. But it is like when you go to this repository, you can see that. But it is not available. What we have to do now? So simply there is an option called right click on this and team option called, you can just push here. Otherwise you have to do the actions here. See now all these informations are available here. Okay. So whatever projects we have, all these informations will be available here. Let me just show it again. So unbound branch, and we don't have any branches here located. Okay. So we'll go to this, right click on this, go to the team, and you can see there is like option push to stream upstream is not available, like push to branches, nothing is available here. Okay. Switch to the new branch, or we don't have anything here. Okay. So what I have to do in this case? What I have to do in this case is like now right click to the teams. What is that local folder that we have? This is the local folder. Remote is like I need to give the remote details. Okay. So other thing is like this will be like little complex to understand, because now we have this project which is located, but we did not commit anything. Okay. So if I try to commit, there is it is like showing like where do we want to commit these changes? Okay. So let me just add is like adding master branch. Okay, cannot commit. Push master branch has encountered a problem, cannot connect to any repository. So it is not allowing me to connect from this. So what I can do here is like I can go ahead and use this one. Otherwise, it's like I'll just remove this project. Okay, so I'm deleting it. And here I'll go and I'll show you how do we exactly add it. Right click on this, go to the show, bash. F, get star. Okay. So this will remove this git now. Here also, I need to remove this one. It has removed everything. So pre-commit. So these things are not required. Just I'm deleting, guys. Don't worry about this. So, but initially when we are doing it, so it will just add those files when you are trying to do this. But this is not a kind of a best practice that we have. So what we have to do is like now, if you want to add it from the local, but we can directly add. So we can add it to the Eclipse also. Just I'm going to import it. It's a Maven project, right? Existing Maven project. I'm going to take it. Set located, git. Okay, we have this project. Right click on this, go to team, share project. So we have already created this Git repository, right? Click on this Git. So target locations, where it is targeting, location is like targeting this location. Okay, so we need to cannot create this. So like little working area, we got working area created, and we'll remove this one. Let's select this project. We click on finish. Fail to initialize Git team provider. So directly added, guys. So there could be some, actually I need to check this one because it should directly add it. Let me take the another repository. Let me add is like auto test 1, 2, 3. Just creating this. We'll click on finish. Okay. Okay. We have this master created. Okay. So this branch is now we don't have like working area. So it will have a different working, different location here. Okay. So now right click on this and we can just commit the changes. See, one is like local and see, now we don't have any branches created here. Okay. So it is like pointing to some location, but we can create the branches here. So we have already branches created. So it's like all master, local master is created. And we have like, working tree. What is that we are tracking? These are the trackings actually. Okay. So let me just go ahead. Now, only thing is like we need to point it to that. Okay. We need to point to that. So pointing to that directly when you point it, so it will ask you to push your master branch. So, but we have to point it to this. So I'm just trying to point it actually. So let me go ahead and disconnect it and right click, share the project, sharing it, master is available. And after this, what I will do is like to make it as like a workaround, I'm just creating a project here. Okay. So auto test 1, 2, 3. Okay. Auto test 1, 2, 3. I'm just creating it. And after that, I'll be taking this location. So from where I can get this location is like, I've created this, right? I'll go back to this. You can see auto test is created. This is the location of the Git. Right click on this, go to the teams. So here, new remote repository, which is already available here. Master. Okay, I think I'm missing one step, guys. Only that is the reason why it is not allowing me to upload it. So the thing is like we follow these things. Now you can see that all the question mark is like it is not available anywhere. So that is the reason why it is showing as like question mark here. So I need to push it actually only. Yeah, now I got it. Okay. So I think push to origin. But if it shows some errors, so then we have to check why it is showing the errors now. But it's like we should have these branches created here. Okay. So these branches, as you see this, we have created, we have the branches here, right? Automation and remote tracking. So these two things are getting tracked over. But when I'm pushing it, figure upstream, there is some error. Guys. Actually, it's like it is asking me to add these references. Okay, it's exception references. Just let me go here and try to. It is trying to push it actually. So it is trying to push it, but it's not showing up here. Okay, guys, I'll stop this session here today. I'll try to just recall. I mean, like I just try to repeat whatever things that we have done. So just I'll show it in a clear. The thing is like today we had a problem with the password change or problem with the permissions. Otherwise, directly these things will be uploaded. And other thing is like there is something issue with my machine actually. So it is not allowing me to push it because of some permissions. Okay. But generally, what we have is like directly we can use these commands when we use these commands, right? Yeah. When we use these commands, right? So these are the commands. Okay, this thing's also not required. When you want to configure it, you can configure it. I'll add it as like optional. Okay, so these are the options. So this we can do after doing it, after doing the initialization also. Okay, so here username, I'm going to add username, so email. Okay, so these are the things that we have to do, guys. So once you do this, what we need to do is like we need to log into the GitHub and go to this location. Go to this location. You can see this. Okay. So before starting this, what is the process is like install Git locally. Okay. After that, create GitHub. Okay. So GitHub account, create repository. Once you create repository, you'll get all this comments below comments. Okay. So now what you need to do is like you need to go to local machine, go to project location, and there you need to type or else select the option, right click, select option, git bash. Okay. And type below commands in sequence. Okay. So this is what you have to do. After that, you need to log in into GitHub. And check below location. Okay. So these are the steps, guys. Actually, you need to follow the steps. Okay. So I'll save it. Otherwise, I'll write steps for uploading GitHub. Okay. So install Git locally, create GitHub account, and this is like GitHub account we need to create. Okay, in browser. Okay. So then after go to local machine, go to the project location, click select option, then click on Git bash. Okay. So that is what we have done, right? Git bash. So Git bash. Once you open this, so you can see that the list of comments we have, here we have list of comments. Okay. Copy list of comments. Sir, creating repository. Okay. So once these are the list of commands which you need to copy and execute it and go and check it. Now this will be available here. Okay. So I'll save this file, guys. I'm going to send it to your WhatsApp and try to do it. And I'll show you like the next ways also. How do we do it? Okay. How do we clone those repositories from the remote also? Okay. Remote to local.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Yeah, thanks for your time, guys. So maybe I'll update this and I'll send it to you guys and you can just follow the steps. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for your time.